Hello, my name is Anjani Segrist, and this is going to be a brief video sharing about my own personal journey with relationships, sexuality, intimacy, and why this has become such a huge focus area for me in my work. So somebody asked me today, why am I single and why is this something that I'm focusing on? And my answer, just a short answer, was like, well, I suck at relationships, and so I decided to stop doing it and start studying it and learning about it. And really, I don't think I suck at relationships. I think that the paradigm that we have, or that I had set up in my mind about what the man's role is, what the woman's role is, and how we're expected to relate with each other, I never found it satisfying. And I am an intellect. I am a scholar. I study. I am independent, and I make my money. I have, in my first marriage, when we went to therapy, the therapist said that I was doing the man's role and that he was doing the woman's role in that therapy session, where he's complaining that I don't pay attention to our anniversary, that I'm not, doing those sentimental things. And I'm complaining that I'm running the household, cleaning, taking care of the children, and I'm making more money than him. And I have that drive to, I was in college, I was excelling in our career. We were both in the Navy together, and felt like, I'm doing everything, and he's just there like, why aren't you more sensitive? And why, and I am sensitive. I am very loving, compassionate. I love affection. I love all of those things. But in that particular dynamic, it was like, there's kids to be raised, there's a house that needs to be run, and I'm going for my college degree, and the floor needs to get swept, and I'm not going to do all of those things. And you need to do some things too. And so my personal journey with relationships and the dissatisfaction that I was finding in my relationships has led me to where I am now. Like, I want to study this. I want to understand more about the dynamics and what really makes a person, what's really real for the individual. So when we do come together, you're being fully you, I'm being fully me, and we can have what I call a mature relationship. But I think that most people aren't doing that most people are filling the role of what is their perception of what a good relationship is meant to be. So they're in their own cycle of what relationships are within the grander cycle of our collective communities. And it's different for, even within the United States, different states have different normal. In California, where I live, I feel like this is the place that, out of all the other places that I've lived, has the most freedom and flexibility and what they consider to be, or what is considered, not they, but what is considered to be a normal relationship. We have more diversity. It's more open-minded. I'm not exactly sure why, but it's true that I find it to be more open. And this is the state that actually has a polyamorous community, and they have it within that community created a code of ethics. I think there was an HBO movie made from what I would call the leaders of that movement of polyamory. Polyamory probably is something that has existed under the covers, behind closed doors. And this community has brought it out into the public eye. Like, listen, this is really, you're doing it anyway. Why not talk about it, make it something that is visible, that we can communicate about this. So in my personal experience, I have had 4 lovers that 2 of them were court ordered to therapy when we broke up, and 2 of them that told me that they went into therapy after we broke up. So in my mind, I'm thinking in this point in my life that I would go into a relationship being everything they wanted, doing all the things that I'm very, I would call it attuned to senses. Like I have a sense about what the person wants and what they need. And in my romantic love relationships, it's amazing because I know all the right spots. I've been practicing body work for a really long time now. And that realm of sexuality, I feel like I'm very attuned. I'm good at it. It's something that I know that I'm good at. And it's amazing. The relationship part that deals with sexuality turns out to be amazing and wonderful, and communication is good. I'm listening, I'm talking, that area is good. I'm intelligent, I'm studying, I'm, got my own life together. So my partners never end up having to, manage my life because I'm doing that already. Everything's going good. And then suddenly I realize I'm not having fun. This isn't actually good for me. And I check out. I'm out. The guy is left like, what the hell just happened? Everything was great, and they're doing everything they can to get me back. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I really wish I could. You're a great guy, everything's fine, but I just can't, I'm not feeling it anymore. And there's always all these reasons. There's always a list of reasons. Well, a lot of times it turns out in my mind to be that something's wrong. Something's wrong. I'm not interested anymore and I want to leave. In the times that I have been interested and they've kept my attention, it's usually because they're passionate about what they're doing. They're super into their career. They have their own life. And the relationship with me doesn't take them out of their own life. And those are the relationships that tend to last longer and have kept me interested. And when we split off, it wasn't because of me that I'm just check out. We would split because of, their careers taking them to other places, or it wasn't because, my common thing is like, I'm bored, not interested anymore. So having experiences where the person kind of loses their mind, has mental breakdown. It seems like I'm walking around with a rifle just shooting people. I remember once I was in the ashram and this guy walked in, and it's my type. I know my type when I see them. They are smart, and so they're dressed a certain way. They are successful because, they're into their thing. They're passionate about what they do. So there's this type. He walks in, I see him, and I instantly felt sorry for him. Like, oh my God, this poor guy doesn't even know what's about to happen to him. In that moment, I realized that this is a problem. This is not, there's something that isn't going good here. I can already see, and it's almost like he's my prey in a way. I see him, I already know what's going to happen. I'm going to attract him. I'm going to lure him in somehow. In my way, it's going to be, I won't talk to him, but when I do talk to him, I'll say something really amazing that's intelligent, that spikes his mental interest. And then I'll leave, and then he's going to be thinking about me, and then, he eventually comes to me. I never chase. I don't do that. Then when I draw him in, do all the things, maximum amount of pleasure, maximum interest in his needs and desires and what he wants, and fully giving in all of those realms. And then at some point, I'm going to withdraw my attention. I'm not interested anymore. And why am I not interested? Because I only cared what you wanted. I only wanted to learn you, be interested in you, and didn't focus anything about myself. So at some point, I am not being satisfied. I'm not experiencing joy and happiness and bliss and stimulation and being challenged and all of these things that I actually really like. None of that's happening for me. So I just check out. And I feel bad for them because it wasn't their fault. They didn't do anything wrong. I'm saying that, but maybe they did. Why wouldn't you want to be interested in learning about me and finding out what I like? And so maybe in a way, maybe they did do something wrong. Maybe they deserved that. But at that point, I realized that something wasn't going right. So I did do it a few more times, of course. And since living in San Diego, it's only been about 4 years, 5 years now, maybe, that I've 5 years? Yeah, 5 years that I've not been dating. I've not been really relating. I've had a couple of things here and there. I'm not going out to meet new people. So that's, I'm just not interested in the whole thing. What I've been interested in is studying about it, learning my own patterns, why I do the things I do. What is it that makes me feel really alive, and how do I want to share that with another human being? So that's where this whole thing has come about, is through my own journeys, self-exploration. And I work with people doing body work and doing astrology readings. So I hear their most intimate things, their most intimate moments, and I ask them a lot of questions, and so I feel in a way scientific about it, doing research on the topic. It's my number one topic of interest at the moment. So, and how all of that plays into the rest of the life, how it plays into health, well-being, their business and their career, and the way, in the way that sexuality, that energy running through their body is affecting every other thing in their life. It is a fact as much as factual as you can get around a topic like sexuality. I'll call it a fact that it is a part of our creative energy, our life force energy, chi, prana, all of that, kundalini energy. It is a massive part of sexuality. And the way we're running sexual energy through our body is going to contribute to every part of our life. So I had a partner, which was the last partner I had, which was a huge, it was the first time that somebody flipped the switch on me and wasn't interested in me anymore, or so it seemed, and was cheating on me and doing all this stuff. And I noticed how I started to not make money anymore. So my wealth and abundance in financial form decreased. My body changed. My liveliness overall was just very diminished. And watching him also, like, he had no money. He still has no money. It's an ongoing issue for him. And how male sexuality, female sexuality, how it varies and how it changes. A lot of female sexuality, what I find, and not for me, I don't do this, but they somehow are getting men to pay for their stuff. Like, that is normal in our society, and probably in many other societies and different cultures, that women running their sexual energy, getting makeup, getting pretty, doing all the things, paying for hair stuff and makeup and clothes, and they're doing all this stuff to themselves, and men are paying for that in many different ways. Fascinating. It's fascinating to me. And then men, not all men, the men who are paying for this beautiful creature, that they're investing in her, and somehow she's getting money from that. Like, a lot of women that's what they do. They're the wife or the partner of so-and-so, and they're not really, I don't know, how are they running their energy and contributing something in the world? it's fascinating to me, and I'm not really sure. Haven't gotten into their minds very much. I don't really interact with those women. I don't really know. I would love to find out. The men who are the money, who pay for things, and I see more of that. And I've lots of male clients, many male clients who share with me about their experience with women and mistresses, and they're the power people in the relationship, and their partner is sort of theirs in a way. And then this other archetype of the musician, that's been something fascinating to me. Only have found this in San Diego. I haven't experienced this in any other place. That they don't have money. They're having lots of relationships, lots of sex, lots of creativity, going out at night, experiencing lots of things, but they don't have money. How is that? How is it? And once a book literally just fell off the shelf, and I opened it up randomly to a page. It was the Tao of Sexology. I bought the book, so it's, because I'm studying these things. I'm interested in how sex relates to health and our vitality. Anyway, I opened the book, and it's something about that his semen, that when all the processes in the body you have to go through, everything that we do has to go through all these processes through the organs and the blood to create one drop of semen. And if a man is just shooting that out every which direction, there's no focus on it. There's no concentration of the, basically intentionally and mindfully using that life force, that's their money. That is their wealth and their resource. And so if they're not cultivating it, how would they have money? So that was a big eye-opening thing for me in that particular relationship, and was like, wow, I can't really be in this with you, because what I'm cultivating and cooking in myself, now you're going out, I called it stew, and sharing that with all these other women that you're having naps with. And it's leaving me depleted, and my resources are dwindling. I'm not having a financially abundant experience because of you and the way that you're running your sexual energy, and in turn, or probably primarily, the way that I'm allowing this to happen. So shut the door to that. It's been 2 years. I've never had more financial abundance in my life. And I mean, literally, I just keep creating more, and I'm receiving more financial abundance. So it's definitely connected to the way that I'm cultivating my sexual energy, the way that I'm cooking it and using it. And I have shared it in this whole time of being single. I have had partners that I've shared it with, and it's amazing. It's just been such a better experience, because I'm able to say what I really want to say, and not just going off and complaining to my girlfriends about, oh, I can't believe this and that and this and that. In the moment, I just say it. Imagine that. You can do that. You don't have to withhold information. This is what happens normally, and what I hear men and women saying, why they can't tell their partner this particular thing that they're telling me or telling their friends. Well, I don't want to hurt his feelings. I don't want to hurt her feelings. I don't want this to happen. Well, if I say that, she's going to freak out, and so what you're doing basically is manipulating the situation by withholding information. So what's been really useful for me is right in that moment saying, oh, wow, I'm feeling this, or no, I don't want to do that, or hey, let's try this. So I'm able to say it in the moment, and it's completely changed my whole experience, made me more aware also of what is it that I want? What do I like? How do I want this to be? Instead of just going along for the ride and trying all these little weird manipulation tactics that we're sort of taught that we need to do in relationships. So I'm going to stop there. I'm starting a new project called Sovereign Sexuality. So taking it the next level from the alchemy of intimacy, which is really ends up being by yourself journey through your own internal relationship material. This is a really, really good process. I've done this myself. Doing it as a participant was very enlightening and different than being the creator of it. So I highly recommend doing this workbook. The thing I'm creating now has more to do with being fully activated as a sexual being and taking ownership for the responsibility of your own pleasure, your own orgasm, your own finances. People who are in relationships that I've been witnessing in the last 10 years aren't responsible for their own orgasm, for their own pleasure, for their own finances. And to be a sovereign being, all of this second chakra information it's very, very important. And if you've hired people out to play these different roles in your life, you've hired somebody who makes you feel passionate, you've hired somebody who makes you feel comfortable, hired them meaning like you call that person for comfort, you call this person for passion. You go to this person to relax, you go to this person to have fun. You basically have hired out all these people that make you feel a certain way. Sovereign sexuality is about you reclaiming all of that, even your fun friend that you like to connect with for these certain things, bringing that back in, finding, you be your fun friend. You be the person that makes you feel, you be that. You're hanging out with that person because you want to be that. So the sovereign sexuality process is about bringing that back into its origin, being that yourself. I'm using Tantra Yoga, I'm using astrology, just the same way I used Tantra Yoga and I used astrology for the alchemy of intimacy. These are two really good tools for knowing our own power, owning our own material, and starting from this origin. So thank you so much for watching the video. I'm not sure I'm going to share this publicly or not. If you have found yourself watching the video, thank you so much. And please feel free to leave any comments. I look forward to connecting with you soon.